everyone, and welcome back after a very long time of break for finally a new video. I actually didn't intend to not make a video for such a long time. It just happened to be so busy that I didn't have time to make a new video. So I'm hoping you enjoyed this video, because I asked you guys on Instagram, make sure you follow Anna in Tanzania so you don't miss out, because I'm making more updates there than on YouTube. It's like a kind of blog. Yeah, so I made a poll to see what you guys would like to see next, and most of you voted for a volunteer video about volunteering in Tanzania. So here it comes. Have fun, enjoy! The actual reason why I live in Tanzania is due to volunteering in Arusha in 2016 and 17. I always dreamt about going to Africa since I'm a little kid. I was kind of fascinated by the continent. Only later on, the older I got, the more I realized what big differences there are, and that Africa is actually a whole continent, and each country has its own charm and its own culture. Actually, more than one culture most of the times, like it's in Tanzania. But I still wanted to go and see a place in Africa. So after my graduation, I researched about places I could go and where I could do some volunteering. And my parents didn't want me to go and live somewhere in the bush. They preferred to know that I was with some other people, and so I decided to volunteer in Arusha. So the organization is based in Arusha, and I was working there in a project. So there's a difference between organization and project. I want to make that clear, because organization is getting now my critiques, and the project where I was working is only good. Like, I don't want to say anything about the project. The project actually is a preschool for children. It's called Checker School, and it's a really cool project, so you can check it out online. But I want to talk about the volunteer organization. So that's the organization I came with to Tanzania. So they were like helping me to organize everything. They were the ones providing accommodation, food, support, and all these things. So the pros of that was that I got a lot of information before my departure, so I knew what was going to happen there, what, like, the organizational information, not really educational, I'll come to that later, but organizational preparation was good. They picked me up at the airport, which was really nice, because then I immediately met someone who was kind of responsible for me and brought me to the lodge, so I knew where I had to stay. I stayed in a lodge with many other international volunteers, and we were all working in different projects. So that was very lovely. The accommodation is really great. We got some food there. We had lots of conversation with the other volunteers, which is really so valuable, because you're going to a completely different place and you don't really know anyone. Like, I was there, I didn't know anyone before I went there, and I made friends for life. And it's really good to have someone that you can exchange your experiences with, that's in the same situation as you are, which is why I think volunteer housing is a really good idea, at least for the first few months of volunteering, rather than staying in a host family, which of course gives you a deeper insight into the culture, but it's lacking that possibility to exchange with other volunteers. I already talked about the project, which I really loved and really enjoyed working there. And I also had lots of time for traveling, partying, making friends, experiencing. I had my sister come over, we went to travel together. I traveled with other volunteers, so I could really explore Tanzania. And that's also a very important part of volunteering, because you're going to a different country. Like, Tanzania is so beautiful, there's many things to see, to experience. So this is definitely something you need to do when you go volunteer, wherever you go. Experience the country, travel, see it, go on a safari, hike on a mountain, go to a place where there's no tourists, and experience that. That's also so important, and gives you like so many experiences. Now, I also want to talk about the negative things that I experienced. There was no preparation seminar. So I said I got a lot of preparation in terms of organization, so like for my visa and stuff. That's also very important, and they did that, but not like educational preparation. What does it actually mean to go volunteering? What is it like to go to Arusha? What impact will I have as a volunteer? Because you're not saving the world. But what do I do? What can I do? What is the best for me and what's the best for the project where I'm going to? I didn't get any preparation on that. Also, during my stay, there was not really any good accompaniment. It's so important, like I said, I had the volunteers that I could talk to and we could exchange our experiences, but there was no professional there or one person that is living in Tanzania and can help us to go through what we experience as volunteers. I'm not saying there are lots of bad things, but it's so important to have the exchange, to reflect, what am I doing in my project? Sometimes you have doubts like, oh my god, I'm away from home for so long. I was there for 8 months. Some people were there for a shorter time. I would recommend at least 6 months, but so it's a long time you're away from home, probably also the first time you're traveling alone without any friends or parents, or some people come with their friends, but still there is a big need for reflecting what is happening, what are you doing in the project. Impulses as well need to be given on what you can do in the project to support it sustainably, because yes, you're going there to work, you're giving your work hours, but you're not saving the world. First of all, most of volunteers are not professionals, so they go there, they give their workforce, and that's amazing, but they can give much more. And volunteering shouldn't just be like, oh, I'm here for 3 months and then I'm gone. It should be like a sustainable support. Like, is there something I can set up in Tanzania to support them continuously, like a social media account? Can I help them to promote it on Instagram? These are things most organizations and projects here in Tanzania, they don't have that. So that's something, anything you can think of that can help the project, you can do to support them in a long term. Additionally, what's very important to do is fundraising. You have a whole group of family and friends and people that know you around you. You can ask your local newspaper at home to write an article about you, and then there will be people donating. That means it increases the network of the project that you're working for and will give them a long-term support, because there will be people continuing to donate even when you're gone. So it's not about your money, it's just making the connections. That's something volunteers can do, and it's so important. But yeah, I didn't get any of these. I learned all that later on in my studies. Additionally, what I found really sad is I lived in a bubble. I lived in a bubble with other volunteers, with other international people. Yes, I had contact in the project to local Tanzanians. Yes, I like them, but it was not possible for me to bond with them properly. I didn't learn any Swahili. The only things I could say after 8 months of staying there is like, hi, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Or no, thank you. How much is this? Like, that's the basics. And I think you should know these things that I knew after 8 months already before you come to Tanzania. It's different in other countries, because some countries they maybe only speak English, but Tanzania is very, very important that you know Swahili. That would have opened me so many doors to get a deeper insight into the culture. Also, I didn't learn anything about the culture while I was there. There were no seminars given from the organization I went with, which I already said was bad because I couldn't reflect what I was doing, or what didn't get any impact, what I could improve or do for the project. But I also didn't learn anything about the culture, and Tanzania has such a big culture. There's many different tribes. Of course, there's Swahili as the main language. There's many tribal languages. I think around 130 different languages are spoken in Tanzania. So there's so much to learn, and it's so interesting to see. And it doesn't mean you have to go to the countryside and live like one of those tribes that are still doing that, like the Maasai or some other tribes. But to just learn about it is so important and so interesting as well. I mean, you go to a completely different country for a reason, right? You don't want to just stay with your friends, but that's what happened to me, and I think that's what's happening to many volunteers. Yeah, so I already said that fundraisings are very important. I organized 2 fundraisings during my time, one, and after I returned to Germany, I organized another one. That was good, that helped the project for sure, but then I kind of lost touch. I have to be honest about that. I built my own NGO here in Mwanza and supporting Mwanza through that. But with the organization I went, this project, I haven't heard of them in a long time. I haven't supported them continuously, which is something I could have done different, and which is something I think volunteers should consider, that after returning back home, they should continue to support the project in some way. It's not always financial. It can also just be keeping in touch with the people, seeing if there's something you can help them with. Like I said, social media accounts or something. That's so important. One of the reasons why I probably didn't continue supporting that project is maybe because I didn't get a follow-up seminar when I came back home. It was just like, I left the lodge, I went to the airport, I arrived in Germany, I was there with my family back. It was lovely, but I wish I had like something to wrap the whole experience up, where I meet with other former volunteers, exchange like, oh, it was so nice and so good to see you again, all that. But additionally also learn some information like, what can I do to not just forget about the time I had on the project and all that. In general, I have to say the organization was quite expensive. For 8 months, I paid 500 euros each month. If you stay shorter, it's more expensive. The longer you stay, the cheaper it gets, which is fair because there's some things that you have to do in order to get there. But for that much money, I didn't get the service, the quality from that organization that I should have gotten. That's my personal view about it. Still, I would have done it again. I would still do it again, but I would be more careful with choosing the organization that I go with. Because there's many great projects out there. I'm sure you find a nice project, but be careful about the organization you choose it with. Now, it is obvious to me that some people who want to go volunteering just want to have fun, save the world a little bit, and then go back home, which is okay for some people. But my experience and the knowledge I got during my studies makes me want to change that viewpoint. So the people who go abroad for volunteering to come and help, need to think more about how we can cooperate with the locals instead of helping them. How can we support them in the long run? Because they are the ones who are the experts. We are the ones who come from outside trying to help, but what can we actually do? It's not so much. So I think volunteering should be more of an intercultural exchange, so that the volunteers learn about the cultures, get insights through working in a project, bring in their ideas, which can be so valuable to those projects, and then exchange with the local workers. So they will also learn from you, you learn from them, and find ways to sustainably support good projects. And therefore everyone benefits, not only the volunteers, also the projects. Over the past years, I said I went to volunteer in 2016, now it's 2022, so it's been a few years. My desire to change the face of volunteering has grown, and at one point I started to write down my ideas. I want to take all the positive things I experienced and improve the negative things to create a unique and sustainable experience for volunteers. I developed a concept for, back then, an imaginary volunteer organization. Now, since a few months, I have started to take action and founded the organization Shamiri in Mwanza. Shamiri wants to welcome volunteers from all around the world who are ready to sign up for their intercultural learning experience. What we offer with Shamiri is a 2-day preparation seminar that is before you come to Tanzania. The first 2 preparation seminars are more like information seminars. They will be online because of Corona. It's at the moment a little bit difficult. So anyone from any country who is even a slightly little bit interested in volunteering can sign up for these. The dates I put here. The first one is in February and the second one is in May. If you want to sign up, just send an email to our email address, Shamiri, and we will be happy to welcome you. It's for free. Later on, after these 2 seminars, we will charge for the seminars. So use the chance and sign up and learn something about volunteering and sustainable volunteering. It will be mandatory for volunteers to take language classes before and during this day. Because, like I said, Swahili is so important here in Tanzania. You cannot be here without knowing at least a few things. So the minimum hours are 60, and then each volunteer can decide if they want to do more. But 60 is the minimum. Then once the volunteers arrive here in Tanzania, there will be a 5-day arrival seminar where volunteers will be prepared for their working placement in the project of their choice. So if you check out our website, you can see we have so many different projects, and even the different projects we have, they have different, different placements. We have something in the field of childcare, of course, family, social work, we have health, we're working with AIDS and HIV, we have rural housing, sustainable housing, agriculture, we have a project for photography and filmography, and much more. I probably forgot something. Yeah, of course, also teaching. So there's many different choices. Just check it out, and I'm sure there's something for everyone. So in that arrival seminar, they will also get to know Mwanza, the other volunteers, plus, of course, the employees from Shamiri, get an insight to the culture in Tanzania. So there will be 5 days devoted for you just to arrive here. The minimum amount of time you should stay here is 1 month. So that would mean you have 1 week of preparation seminar, then you have 3 weeks of working. That's the absolute minimum, because it's not worth it to do it for less than that. Maximum is 2 years. We can also offer you to do an internship. So if you say you need an internship, for example, for social work, that's very possible for us to do that, and so you can get it accredited by your university. We can also give you a form that says you did an internship. If you don't want it to be a volunteering certificate, that's very possible. So if you need that, karibu. Then during your stay in Tanzania, there is a daily possibility for you to meet with your mentor or facilitator. So I will be the mentor, there will be another person who is the facilitator, who will be there every day. So if you have any problems, we have a 24/7 emergency phone number while you're here, and if there's anything, you can reach us anytime and we'll be there to help you. And then, of course, there is monthly inter-seminars for reflection. We will also exchange about ideas, things you could do to support your project, and different topics related to volunteering. So each time will be something new for you to learn. And of course we will plan on how to support your project long term. Additionally, we will also do cultural excursions. For example, near Mwanza, there is Bujora Sukuma Museum, and we will go there to learn more about the tribe of Sukuma people, which is the biggest tribe in Tanzania, and most people in Mwanza are Sukuma. We will offer you a comfortable accommodation in Mwanza, where you stay together with other volunteers. And yeah, I already said about the work projects. Oh, there's also projects in community development. I forgot to mention that. We work with women also. Yeah, just to add that to what I said before. And then when you go back to Germany or wherever you come from, there will be a 2-day follow-up seminar to reflect your experiences, give feedback for Shamiri and the project that you've been working with, because that's so important. We're just starting with Shamiri, and I need feedback from everyone to improve the services from Shamiri. Share information that you need to share with new volunteers. So like when you go back, your follow-up seminar, half a day of it will be with the new volunteers who have the preparation seminar. So that's a chance for you to give them some input, like, hey, I wish I had known that, or you're gonna be homesick, so this is something you can do in Mwanza to help you, or this is a nice restaurant to go to. So there will be this kind of exchange. And then of course for the people who are doing the follow-up seminar, we will talk about sustainability. So kind of that's the end of my criticizing, and I do realize that other people have a different view about this topic. I know that many people are completely against volunteering abroad, which is also fair. There's people who just want to go volunteer, have fun and party. It's also okay. But this is my view. This is, my experience, my advice. I think volunteering shouldn't be a business for people to get rich. It should help the projects in Tanzania sustainably and give a good learning experience to the volunteers. So now, after all this, if you are interested in coming to Mwanza, karibu sana, which means welcome in Swahili, check out our website, our Instagram and Facebook. I will also put that all down in the description. And I hope to see you soon with my next video, which for sure will be about travel advice in the months of heavy rain season. So the month where usually nobody wants to travel to Tanzania because it's a bit difficult. But more about that next time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I could help you a little bit, and I'm excited to see if some of you are interested to come volunteer with Shamiri. Until then, bye bye.